got some bad news, guys. If you are serious about trying to sound natural in American English, there's probably a technique that you're not using enough of, and it's causing people to immediately know one, that you're not from North America, which can obviously not a problem, but if your goal is trying to blend in or just kind of you have that goal of being taken for a native speaker, that's going to make things very difficult, right? And I want to help with that. And it involves a little bit of emotion in making sure you're conveying emotion to your listener because that is one of the biggest separations in American English. We make very apparent how we're feeling to others, and I want to make sure you're doing that in a way that sounds natural. So we're going to be playing around a bit today with intonation patterns, pitch patterns, and things like that. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. This is our daily American English pronunciation stream. Wake up, American. We're here Monday through Friday, right around this time, 8 a.m. New York, to give you 5 to 10 minutes of pronunciation practice because there's a good chance over the weekend, you could tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, that you did not use a lot of English, whereas maybe you often do during the week. So that's a problem, right? Because you take a couple days off, you come back at it on Monday, and you feel a little slower, a little rustier. We're trying to help you out, get you back into that rhythm. That's why it's really important to show up, 10 minutes a day, 5, 10 minutes a day, asking yourself in the morning when you wake up, how can I add 5 minutes of English to my life or whatever language you're studying? We're here to help with that with all of our services. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. It's one of the four keys to a natural sound in American English: placement, pitch, breath. Trying to weaken your consonant sounds. So I have a couple things I want to be showing you all, which you can see here. It looks kind of like a mess because it didn't get formatted right, but that's all right. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing around a little bit with our intonation patterns because this is going to be fundamental for getting a more natural sound. Because what I see with a lot of students who are learning English, hello Emmanuel, is that their intonation patterns tend to be very direct. When I say direct, I mean the falling intonation is just fall like this, or rising intonation just rise like this. There's nothing in between, right? So we're missing like the this or the why and the how. Like where we're getting a little bit more nuanced with the intonation. We're adding some waivers to it, and that is crucial. It's not optional. It is fundamental for getting an actual natural sound in a language. Hello, also to Milad checking in. Great to see you both. People hanging out with us in the morning. We would love if you're watching us too, whether in the future on the replay or in the past. Be sure to say hey. So we're just going to practice some quick things. We were actually talking about this. Emmanuel and Milad are both actually in the Mission English group. We were Mission English, in case you don't know, we have a group that meets twice a day for 30 minutes. This is the schedule we have. Um, and these are all New York time, so we meet twice a day. And one of the things we talked about recently in the Mission English group was, again, these sorts of intonation quivers and things. So this is just going to be a little bit more practice in that regard. So we're not just going to be doing like how, and we're not just going to be doing like how. We're going to be like, let's imagine for all of these situations, we're trying to show surprise. So our key emotion today is going to be surprise through intonation. How are we doing that? So that first word, maybe we'd say like how'd? How'd? Notice also pitch is key for this too, right? I'm going pretty high there. Like how'd? Like how'd you know? How'd you know? Because they told me and I just don't believe it. Like how'd you know? They told you? Like things like that. So playing around with your pitches. You can lower it. I would encourage you to experiment with the higher pitches too, but you can lower it too. So like how'd you know? How'd you know? But I'd really encourage you to practice with the higher pitches. Like how'd you know? How'd you know? How? How? It's just like it kind of dips and right. How? You can even add a little bit more quiver to it. Like how'd you know? Like how'd you know? Okay. Some idea with the next one. So we have our question right here. Why? Or why? Why? See how like it kind of gets dragged out? Like why? Why? Like why'd you come? Why'd you come? You could also say why'd ya, like why'd you come, and then also notice like come with the rising intonation as well. Like why'd you come? Keep it rolling with the next one as well. Like really? And again, we're showing disbelief, surprise, disbelief. We can't believe something is true. Really? Really? That's the reason? Like really? That's the reason? Okay, no, so I'm also stressing that's in that situation. Like really? 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 That's the reason? And then our last one here, and then we'll kind of dive into some specifics on this. Like, who? Who was responsible? Who was responsible? And so again, that means that maybe you don't believe the person that was responsible. You don't believe it could have been them. They're like the nicest person ever. Like, wait, it's them? Who? Who was responsible? But they're so friendly, you know. So it's like you're it's catching you off guard. Who's responsible? It can't be them. No, they're so friendly. They couldn't have committed the worst crime of the century. How could they have? So those are kind of just like the little intonation patterns. Just again, this is like starting high, dipping, going high again. Like how? Who? Why? Really? All those sorts of examples. By the way, if you're trying to get some practice on these, you want to know if you're actually doing it right. Just a reminder that we have a pronunciation group on Telegram as well. So I'll be posting these sentences in the Telegram group later. And our Telegram group members will be able to send their own audio, and I'll be able to give feedback to them. To let them know if they're doing it right, if they're getting enough waver in their intonation, if they're changing their pitches. So if you're curious about that too, you want to see if you're doing this in a way that sounds natural, because maybe this is new for you. You're not used to using these high pitches and things. That's what the Telegram group is for. You can go to fluentamerican.com/Telegram. Just follow that link right there. I just want to talk about some quick linking things for these sentences as well. So for instance, how'd you? Notice that D a lot of times make like a just sign. How'd you? How'd you? Or like how'd you? How'd you? So just a note there. You're going to see that also with like why'd you? It's like why'd you? Why'd you? So watching out for that. That's the reason. So watch out for like linking like a TS sound with a TH. That tends to be tricky. Like that's the reason. So when I'm doing that, the tip of my tongue is actually down against my bottom front tooth. And then I'm just going to transition from the S to the TH that way. So like that's the. Notice that the TH sound on the is actually really, really light. You don't really hear it very strongly because I'm not putting my tongue between my teeth. I'm not saying that's the. That's really hard to say. I'm really just holding to my tongue against my bottom front tooth. That's the. This part of my tongue. I'm not sure if you see it. It's kind of like the mid front of my tongue. That's the part that's actually making contact with my top front tooth for the TH. Like that's the. And then who was? Who was? Notice that when I'm linking the oo to the W on was, I'm not saying like who was. I'm saying who was? Notice how straight my lips are. So it's like ooh, 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 who was? Ooh, who was? So that's how I'm making that transition. Hello to Uzbekona. Uzbekona? I don't know where the stress is, but thank you for being with us. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I would say practice those things. If you're interested in getting feedback on it, that's what the Telegram group is for. Otherwise, we are going to be back tomorrow morning, right around 8 a.m. New York, going over some more aspects of pronunciation. If there's a topic that you would like covered, or you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on the replay, and maybe we'll pick it as a topic for this week. Once more, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. It's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English. If you know people study American English and you think that this stream would help them, please let them know what we're doing. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Take care.